Hi, my name is Angela Noonan, and my senior project was, what are the steps needed to donate necessary goods to animals in need in the Pembroke Animal Shelter? My outline of my project, I picked this project, the first slide is why I picked the project, the second slide, mentor, my goals for the project, and my research, volunteering and collections, and questions. My mentors was Mrs. Atoli. I've known her for the past 2 years, and I see her a lot, so we work good together. And Mr. Bigelow, he's my current English teacher, and he helped me a lot with the emails and planning everything, so it was good to have him in class next to me to help me. For my vision of a graduate, for the 4 C's, for communication, I thought I recognized and used my verbal skills a lot because I needed to talk to the people that work there and communicate emails and all that. And then I had to listen to what I had to do to train the animals. So the lady her name was Kat, she would go up to me and tell me how to walk the dogs and all that. And I have to listen to what she was saying. And then for collaboration, I got a bunch of team members that were volunteering there, and they helped me fold towels and everything, so I thought I did good with communicating with them and collaborating together. And then for critical thinking, I problem solved a lot of skills. The driving was a lot and a lot of gas, so I had to figure out which days were the best to go with traffic and everything, because it's like a good hour and 30-minute drive. I'd have to ask a lot of questions to understand how they wanted me to do things there, like folding dishes had to be a certain way, folding towels and everything. And then for character, I had to appreciate, there was some kids with special needs that were volunteering there, and I had to work with them and teach them how to walk dogs. And then there was challenges like the obstacles with driving and everything. Why I chose this project. I've always grew up loving animals, and they've been a big part of my life. And I have a dog, which was in the first slide. I consider working with animals in the future and go to college studying them. And I've worked with animals in shelters in the past. What I hope to accomplish in this project. I donated needed goods to a shelter, which was the towels and blankets, and right here's the box that I put in front of the office for kids to put the blankets and towels in. And I had them on the loudspeaker to say it every single day so people knew. I volunteered about 3 times. I went there 4 times. The first time was to give them the towels and blankets for the first time, and the other 3 times was volunteering there. And I learned more about working with animals, so it's better for me to know in the future. And I stepped out of my comfort zone. I don't really like talking to a lot of people or really anything like that, so it was a little bit different for me. And this is the shelter I worked with. They were called Buddy and Friends Animal Rescue. They're located in Pembroke. And I picked this shelter. I went through about 10 of them, and I picked them because I like how they rescued the animals from abusive homes. They responded very fast, and it was easy to work with them and communicate. And they rescue and adopt animals and also train pets. So it's kind of like a Camp Bow Wow, but more of a shelter type thing. And this is the lady, Kat, that I worked with. She was the one that I would communicate the emails with and when I should volunteer and be there. These are some of the emails of when I started emailing her in October of 2025. That was the first email, and I told her about my project and everything. But she works at the shelter. She trains dogs. She does dog classes, and most of the dogs there she's rescued from down south. My timeline in the fall, I looked for shelters, chose my mentor, and started researching. In the wintertime, I contacted shelters. I picked a shelter, which was Pembroke, and I started the blanket and towel drive, and I put that in front of the office. I promoted the project by making flyers, putting them around the school, and then I visited the shelter the first time in the winter. And during the springtime, I volunteered at the shelter and donated more blankets and towels. So I had about 3 loads of blankets and towels. Why are older animals good to adopt? They're already trained. This is from my first research topic. Have established personality, often more calm than puppies, and they can be very sweet. This is one of my main focuses on the project, was older animals. And why do people abandon their pets? Most people abandon their pets because they don't have enough time on their hands, do not have enough experience for a pet, because sometimes they impulsively buy them, having to move, animal health problems because they're older, unwanted litter, and can't afford them anymore. So most of those reasons they told me at the shelter too, because a lot of the animals down south are like, a lot of kids like to throw sticks at them and they use them as toys. So those animals in that shelter were from down south. So it was pretty nice to see them take care of them. What do animals need the most for donations? The main thing that they need is blankets, and towels, which is what I did. Food in cans, canned dried food, mostly canned. Cleaning supplies, pee pads, toys, and most importantly, money, because they can use that for anything. How does being in a shelter affect dogs? This is one of the dogs at the shelter. I forget the name, but that's one of them. It creates anxiety for dogs in shelters. They become defensive, depression, and it changes their personality. One of the dogs in the shelter named Peanut, I think, would bark at a lot of kids because it was just in there for years, and it was like 9, I think. And this is the paper I made around the whole entire school to show people to like bring towels and blankets. And that is a picture of the first load of blankets and towels I had. Shelter visits. I did 4 total shelter visits. When I went there, I washed dishes, cleaned cages, fed the animals, gave outside time, helped demonstrate how to train dogs, which mostly I was teaching them how to walk them, folded towels, and I walked the dogs outside, and I organized a lot of their cabinets and towels and all that. This dog right here is another 9-year-old dog that I was trying to get adopted, but no one really wants like a dog with a disease, and it was kind of sad. Those are some of the people that I worked with that volunteered there, and they helped me fold some towels and wash dishes. And that's the towels after, and the cabinet I reorganized. This is a farm I visited in Bellingham. I found on Facebook. They had no visitors and they were in need for help. So I showed up and we were the first people to volunteer there. Picked up a lot of hay and we moved it for the llamas, goats, and pigs. So we were there for about 3 hours or so, and she just like let us go into the cages, meet the animals. She had about like 20 horses and no one knew about it. This was the senior project exhibition. I didn't see the hashtag there, sorry. And then this is things that went well from my project. Finding a shelter, that was pretty easy. A lot of shelters were dogs. They didn't have a lot of cat shelters. I wanted to find a cat and a dog one, but I couldn't. So I found this one. I found a lot of good volunteering hours. I put myself out there because I normally don't do this stuff. It was a long-term project. It took a while to figure out dates and everything. And I met a lot of new people, and since then I still go. I've already went once since the senior project to volunteer for fun. Things that I could have done better. I could have got more donations because a lot of kids in the high school didn't really, even though you put posters around, they don't really look at it much. So I got a lot of teacher donations, but a lot of kids, they didn't really focus on it too much. Promoting my project more, I definitely probably next time go to the police station or the fire station and get them to post something about it or get it to be out more. And I wish I started sooner because I could have done a lot more interactive things instead of just volunteering. And better at emailing. I wasn't the best at sending emails back and forth, so I could have been better at that. What I learned in this project, how many abused animals are in shelters, what animal shelters need the most, why older animals don't get adopted as much. Little of help makes a big impact and better communication. And that's some more blankets and towels I folded. Advice for rising seniors: get on your project early, get ideas on what you want it to be about early, contact places sooner, don't do something that would be too difficult to complete. And thank you.